Hello everyone, and welcome to our Real Talk in Retail, Reshaping the Retail Experience, the secret to modern data analytics for today's omnichannel retailer. So before we begin, I wanted to cover a few housekeeping rules. Just want to make sure that all of you know that you can engage with us throughout this session through the chat Q&A feature that's available on your On24 console. And we'll be taking those questions at the end as well. Anything we don't get to, we'll answer over email. Also, I just wanted to let you know that this session is going to be recorded and available to you within 24 to 48 hours. And we will be sending you the recording as well as additional resources are available for directly downloading from the On24 platform. So my name is Rutra. I'm Vice President of Industry Marketing here at Snowflake Computing, and I have two very special guests here with me. Eileen Kolev, she is part of the MicroStrategy team since 2010 and is responsible for their mobile and solution marketing across numerous industries, including retail. Prior to MicroStrategy, Ms. Kolev spent 10 years as a buyer and merchandising analyst and manager of allocations and replenishment for Dick's Sporting Goods. Welcome, Eileen.
Hi, thanks, Remy. Glad to be here.
Great, and we also have Mike Lee here joining us today. He is a 15-year veteran of architecting data solutions specifically within the retail industry. And he's a key part of our Snowflake Computing team as a senior solution architect and has been working actively with many of our top retail customers. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Remy. Pleasure to be here.
Well, it's great to have my guests here with us. Today we have a lot to cover. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to go through a Q&A session where we uncover the secret to modern data analytics in today's omnichannel retailer. So with that, I'd like to just dig right in. I wanted to start by talking about some of the key trends that we're seeing, and I pulled this from the NRF conference. There were some write-ups and blogs that came out, where basically they were saying that connected consumers expect new experiences, personal connections, and instant gratification. And it's really creating these seismic shifts in the entire retail landscape. So with that, let me start by asking Eileen, my first question. Across the retail ecosystem, where are you seeing some of the greatest impacts of data analytics?
Well, as you mentioned, we're seeing tremendous transformations across all retail categories and segments, really. With the use of mobile and data analytics, our customers are transforming everything from store operations to merchandise optimization to supply chain management, and that could include retailer and supplier interactions, and distribution center operations, as well as gaining greater and more timely customer insights, which is always a focus for retailers.
That's great. Well, so, if we start by discussing maybe some of the transformations that you're starting to see across areas like store operations and clienteling, maybe you can share with us some of the typical challenges that you may have seen and then discuss possible solutions.
Sure. So I recently read an RIS and Gartner study that stated only 19% of retailers report using up-to-date technology for real-time monitoring of store KPIs. With all the advancements in technologies, I really found that stat surprising. Our retailers leverage our solutions to ensure that store managers can quickly access real-time sales, inventory, as well as customer information so that they can do things like analyze buying trends, evaluate how successful their promotions are, as well as benchmark their store's performance against peers, which certainly helps to drive improvement. Data-driven smart alerts can also be incorporated into apps to help ensure that store personnel are focused on addressing high-priority issues related to things like out-of-stock merchandise, labor management issues, or promotion execution. For example, a store manager could receive an alert that a key item that's advertised next week is out of stock and has no on order. Or they could be notified that a promotional item is not performing as expected and that they should go check to see if their signage is displayed. A lot of our customers have also chosen to incorporate transactional or write-back functionality into their store manager apps so that they can take action on the insight they receive directly from the selling floor. And this helps to save valuable time and facilitate increased revenue as well. So I wanted to just quickly take you through a demonstration of what an application like this could look like. Certainly these types of applications can be customized with retailer branding or their workflows that they want, but hopefully this gives the audience just an idea of what this type of application could look like.
Physical stores are still a critical piece of most retailers' businesses, and it's important to empower store-based employees with the tools they need to streamline operations, drive revenue, and meaningfully engage with customers. Many retail companies have leveraged MicroStrategy Mobile to build native apps for their store managers that provide them with seamless access to all their information and system needs, while also allowing them to take action from the sales floor. Here's an example of one such app. On the home screen, I can quickly scan this week's promotions and review how my latest sales performance compares to comp sales and plan. I tap on alerts to find out that I have a staffing issue and need to review my team's labor hours this week. I also notice there are numerous key items with inventory issues. I tap on one and immediately request a backstock pull for that item. I move on to the Vitals section to drill deeper into my store's performance and then decide to check how my numbers stack up against my peers. I see my store as an average performer in terms of sales versus last year and plan, but I'd like to explore what I can do to boost my numbers. Using Annotate and Share functionality, I input a comment and email the screen to my district manager so we can discuss strategies together. I now want to review my team's performance. I notice that a few of my employees have birthdays today, so I'll be sure to wish them a happy birthday as I walk the floor. I easily identify who my top and bottom performers are and send a quick note of encouragement to one of my team members. I can also submit employee reviews from my app, so I plan to work on those this afternoon. I quickly analyze customer-related metrics to make sure I don't need to adjust operations, and then dig into some promotions information. First, I tap on alerts to view key promotional items that are not performing up to expectations. I locate the displays and realize that the signage is missing. I put up the signage and take a quick look at a timeline visualization. I then notice that the inventory looks light in the aisle I'm standing in. I go to the inventory section of my app and easily identify the items of concern. I immediately start addressing the issues by leveraging write-back capabilities. As a store manager, my MicroStrategy native app provides me with all the tools I need to make better decisions, improve productivity, and increase my focus on serving customers, coaching associates, and driving sales.
This is great. So really from this demo, it's clear that there's a potential cost savings, time savings, and even an increase in revenue for the retailer from something like this.
Absolutely. And to expand upon the store operations analytics and mobility use case, we also have customers using our solutions for store inspection and clienteling applications. One of our customers, who happens to be a large fast restaurant chain, deployed an iPad app to their store inspection team, and they were able to increase the productivity of their auditors by 60%, while also enabling them to spend more time coaching store managers and associates, which they found to be really valuable. Yes. Okay. And I recently read some reports, and you can see the stats up on the screen, that stated 86% of customers would pay more for a better customer experience but only 29% find sales associates knowledgeable and helpful. So there's really a significant gap there, which is one of the reasons that our customers have to deploy these type of clienteling applications to their store team. So these apps can provide store associates with a catalog of information on customers, products, and promotions, and they help to ensure consistent as well as informed customer service. And not only can these apps lead to increased sales and transaction sizes, but they can also help retailers contend with the disruptions in the retail industry that you referenced earlier.
This is fantastic. So it really, like, and I think as a consumer and a customer myself, I definitely know that getting good customer service is something that I would pay more for. So thank you for sharing some of that. As it relates to merchandise optimization, can you describe the challenges and solutions that are getting leveraged by retailers today?
Sure. According to the IHL Group, retailers lose $1.1 trillion annually in global overstock and out-of-stock costs. So the losses are really significant still. And retailers, of course, are under to balance their inventory levels with in-stock positions while also maintaining product assortments that are relevant and fresh. Our retail customers leverage our merchandising solutions to help optimize how they stock, place, and price their products. And our analytics provide merchandising departments with the insights they need to better tier their product assortments and inventory levels based on criteria such as geographical needs as well as store sales volume or even store square footage. And of course, better category management often is also tied to improved profitability and of course increased customer satisfaction as well.
Are there any customer examples that you can share? I know you've talked through quite a few different use cases, but real-world examples that you're starting to see?
Sure. One example is PetSmart. So PetSmart deployed nearly 20 MicroStrategy mobile apps across their enterprise. So they've really mobilized their enterprise to increase efficiency as well as the speed of operations. Their CEO uses a mobile app daily to review critical performance metrics, and store managers are able to quickly access real-time performance information like we discussed earlier from their app. Distribution center managers, something we haven't really talked about yet, leverage their own app to view up-to-date operations information and employee data, as well as initiate actions from their apps, such as logging conversations with warehouse employees. And that particular app has really completely transformed the way PetSmart's distribution centers operate. Their DC managers now can do their jobs entirely from the warehouse floor, and they no longer need offices, which is pretty amazing. So when they're building new distribution centers, they don't need to worry about building offices for their managers anymore. Another great example is Guess. So has deployed MicroStrategy applications to their merchants, executives, to their designers, and even their store operations personnel. Mobile apps are used to make store visits from headquarters staff more productive. They have all the latest data on their apps. They don't need to worry about printing out materials or having outdated information. And they can have interactive discussions. And clienteling and product apps, similar to what we talked about earlier, enable their store teams to better serve customers and increase sales conversion rates. So these apps provide visibility into things like loyalty programs data, current promotions, new products, and store associates can recommend items to complete an outfit. They can utilize inventory from items across the chain to complete a sale, and also message shoppers about products that might interest them. So the store associates are really empowered to provide that personalized shopping experience to customers.
This is fantastic. You know, I can see how that customer experience is getting transformed through these different use cases that you presented, whether it's store operations, clienteling, merchandise optimization. The store managers, store employees can really better serve their customers. So really, you know, I've been hearing a lot about getting that complete view of the customer. Are retailers then getting insights they need and the 360-degree view of their customers now?
Certainly, customer analysis continues to be a top priority for all retailers. There are certainly still some retailers that are struggling to obtain that 360-degree view of their customers and fail to truly understand their customers' unique profiles. Our customers are leveraging our data analytics and discovery solutions to make sense of all that customer data from all the various touch points in order to make real-time decisions that can have that direct impact on their profit margins. With access to the right data, retailers can create more targeted promotions, they can tailor store assortments to specific clientele, and create that personalized customer shopping experience that we've been talking about at all stages of the buying cycle. One of our customers, for example, who is a large supermarket chain, is leveraging our analytics to unlock the value of their loyalty program data so that they can better personalize their offers to individual shoppers. So they analyze trillions of customer, product, and pricing records, including decisions that were processed via an AI and machine learning model scoring system. So now they're better able to anticipate the propensity for each unique customer to purchase a product, as well as the ideal timing and price point for that purchase. And they've really seen some significant results. They've seen a 15% increase in their offer open rates and a 20% reduction in their unsubscribers. So not only are their customers more engaged, but this retailer has also achieved an increase of more than $1 million in incremental weekly sales. So this example really illustrates just how significant the results can be whenever retailers leverage analytics to better understand as well as engage with their customers.
That's fantastic. So clearly, you know, we've come a long way and a lot closer to getting, making use of getting the insights that we need on our customers to better serve them. So, well, thank you very much, Eileen, for sharing those customer stories, those real-world examples with all of us. Let's shift gears a little bit. And, you know, when we talk about insights, analytics, a lot of this data typically sits in a data warehouse. And so I guess my next question is to Mike. You know, how relevant are data warehouses today in today's retail environment?
Well, you know, retailers have long reaped the benefits of data warehousing, and you know, luckily, BI parts such as MicroStrategy have come along and made data warehousing much more successful, making them a strategic asset for the business, as you can see from what Eileen had just presented. You know, it wasn't long ago that 50% of the data warehouse projects failed when you had to cobble together a database server and storage. And, you know, but technology came around and failure rates slightly diminished when you switched from SMP to, which is symmetrical multiprocessing, to MPP or massively parallel processing architectures. And the focus of data warehouse-focused databases such as Redbrick, you know, and Informix and even DB2 came along. They helped, but only when pre-configured, tightly coupled database server and storage systems, when they came along, did data warehousing really take off. And we have, the thanks to companies such as Teradata and Netezza and even Oracle. And so, while highly successful data warehouse infrastructures, forced retailers to size the church for Easter Sunday, they had to ensure that they had enough crank or processing power to process the busiest days of the year, that being Black Friday and Cyber Monday and, Monday mornings. The rest of the week, the systems, they would run nightly ETL to load store sales and stuff like that and do some light reporting. But the systems basically had enough compute now to handle the heaviest compute days. But, a different problem now arises because the compute was tightly coupled with the storage, and there was no way to separate the two. And many retailers had, tens to hundreds of terabytes of unused storage just sitting then in their systems. And so there's actually a solution to that, if you want to call it a solution. Just another problem that's actually arisen is that there's been an explosion of data with Internet of Things, mobile, social, weather, segment, event data, customer insights. But those are all coming in the form of XML, JSON, Avro, Parquet. Why not fill your data warehouse with all that semi-structured data? Well, the problem is that legacy databases can't handle this type of data, and it requires them to transform it into predefined relational tables. That's why, this is a problem, right? It's been a problem because that this data is by nature will change, and every time you change it, you're going to have to create a new table in your database to handle the new JSON or XML document changes. That's just a management nightmare. So retailers then starting at other solutions to be able to handle not only their massive, or to be able to store the mass amount of unstructured or semi-structured data coming in, but also looking for cheaper ways to store their data. They started looking at Hadoop or the cloud to form data lakes. Now, while Hadoop in the cloud had the capability of storing any kind of data and could store it inexpensively, it really didn't have an easy and performant way to access that data. So what retailers really needed, or frankly anyone needs, is really a modern data warehouse. And something that is full-featured and utilizes the elasticity of the cloud, and so you need something that is able to really focus on the analytics, support all the data, scale on demand, and then serve all your users. Current technologies can't do that today, and you're going to need, there's got to be a new way of doing it. And luckily, just by coincidence, we have Snowflake. Snowflake computing basically is the first elastic data warehouse built for the cloud. And it's a massively parallel processing database that has separated storage from compute that allows you to separate your compute clusters and create different ones of different configurations to access the same data concurrently. And when workload completes, turn off the clusters. Oh, wow, mind blown. So you can store any structured and semi-structured data and are charged for only what you use. And you don't have to size the church for Easter Sunday anymore.
That's fantastic.
Really, so
really, it sounds like, the retailer's world is not just status quo every single day. The weekends very, very, very much compared to the weekdays. And now with this modern data warehouse, you actually don't need to get the maximum amount of storage because your compute power can vary. I mean, it's decoupled from the storage. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, yes. And not only is it decoupled, you can turn it off and on, resize it, resume it, suspend it anytime you want.
That's fantastic. Great. Well, I think, so this has been a fantastic overview. I know we've kind of covered a lot of ground with the great use cases and that Eileen shared with us, and then, of course, really kind of talking about that modern data warehouse that needs to sit underneath the data analytics that you'd want to do that Mike shared with us. So thank you both for covering, the topics today. I know, today retailers need to continue to better understand and target their customers. Clearly, it's no longer a choice. And I think with our modern day solutions, there are a lot of opportunities for retailers to get started today. And that opportunity comes in the form of reducing costs, reducing time, improving revenue, and really providing better customer experience all the way around. With that, I'd like to kind of encourage everyone to get started and transform into that data-driven retailer. Please learn more at our websites, as well as try Snowflake out for free directly from the website itself. I'd like to also kind of end, essentially this quote that I pulled from Forrester Research, where really, again, emphasizing that digital transformation is not something that we can just choose to, kind of elect. It's not a choice. You actually, in order to survive in this modern world that we're in, retailers need to embrace digital transformation. And I think we covered a lot of ground in terms of key areas where retailers are already doing this. And the response needs to be to how do we meet the rising customer expectations, deliver those individualized experiences at scale, and operate at the speed of the market. So with that, I'd like to, thank my speakers. Eileen, thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you'll be able to come back again sometime in the future.
Oh, absolutely. It was great.
Well, thank you, Mike, as well, for joining me. I know we covered a lot of ground, and I'd like to invite you to come back with us because I think there's a lot more to cover on this topic.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
With that, I think we're right at that. I'm taking your chat questions, and we will definitely try to get back to you through email. But we are at the top of the hour covering, the full. We want to keep this in 30 minutes. So we will follow up with you, and we encourage you to continue to ask your questions. We'll stay on for a little bit longer, so you can ask us some chat questions. And also, please do visit our website, both snowflake.net as well as microstrategy.com. We have special sections within the retail sections of our site where you can get additional information about both our companies and what we provide. And with that, I'd like to thank you all.